Is five-star offensive tackle Amarius Mims on the verge of committing to Georgia? Of course, I'm going to tell you my thoughts at the end of the video, but if you've been on Dawg Post, watching our videos, reading our stories, you know exactly what I'm going to say. But before I dive into his recruitment and break that down, I do want to talk about Mims as a player and as a person. I made the drive down to Cochran, Georgia earlier this week to speak with Mims, and this guy is an absolute beast. He's one of the biggest humans I've ever seen in my entire life. 6'8", 320 pounds. Dude's just a mammoth human being, and he looks exactly what you want a left tackle to look like. He's got NFL size already. We went down to visit him in February. When I say Dean Legge and myself with Dawg Post 2 Februarys ago, actually. And he was just a big kid. The size was there at the time, but when I saw him earlier this week, he has completely grown into the ideal left tackle. His arms are bigger. His legs are like tree trunks. The size is there. All the physical tools are there. It's easy to see why he's a five-star prospect. And he was just fun to be around. As far as his recruitment goes, I'll just dive into that right now. For the Georgia-Arkansas game, he went up and watched that game with Brock Vandagriff, Georgia quarterback commit up in Athens. He said he's taken at least 10 visits to Athens in the past 2 or 3 months. But he's also been to Tennessee quite a bit. He's been to Knoxville, he said, about 6 or 7 times in the last couple months. He is going to make a decision between 5 schools at his school next Wednesday, October 14th. It's going to be down to Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, and Florida State. Those are going to be the hats on the table. I do think this is down to Georgia and Tennessee, 2 places he's visited numerous times in the past couple months. So I do think it's going to come down to that. But, he was in Athens a couple weeks ago to watch the Arkansas game. Last weekend or 2 weekends ago, he was at Tennessee to watch them play Missouri. I guess that was last weekend. And this upcoming weekend, he will be in Athens again. Final visit before he makes his announcement to watch the Georgia-Tennessee game in Athens in Sanford Stadium. This is going to be a big, big visit. And he told me after the interview, he said that he's hopeful that he'll be sitting with Brock Vandagriff in the stands watching the game. Those two are so close. They hang out all the time. They become brothers through the recruitment process. They barely talk football anymore. They talk fishing, hunting, whatever it is, whatever guys talk about, when they're in college, maybe football games, video games, girls, whatever, I don't know. But it's rarely about football. That's what he told me. That's how close they are. So again, this is a guy that Georgia offered first a long time ago. And I believe that if Sam Pittman were still around, that he would be committed to Georgia right now. That's what he told me. He said a week before Sam Pittman left to go to Arkansas, I was about to commit to Georgia. I was ready. Couldn't wait to play for Sam Pittman in Georgia at the time, and I was ready to make a public commitment to Georgia. Then he said once he started hearing the rumors about Sam Pittman leaving and becoming the Arkansas head coach, that's when he said, you know what, I'm going to stop a little bit. I'm going to take my time, open things up a little more, and keep my options open, and that's exactly what he's done. Obviously, Alabama was the team that he grew up watching, grew up pulling for, but he did say that, with their current offensive line class, they've got 2 5-star tackles coming in, Terrence Ferguson, another kid that I really like out of Peach County. He's committed to Alabama, so he said that he doesn't really want to go in and sign at a place with so much depth and so other talented guys coming in. So while Alabama is a hat on the table, I don't believe he's going to pick the Tide. Again, I think it's down to Georgia and Tennessee, 2 programs he's very familiar with, very comfortable with. He said he hears from Tennessee every day, whether it's if it's not Coach Felton, it's Coach Pruitt. If it's not Coach Pruitt, it's Coach Friend. And if it's, it's obviously one of those guys every day. And he's also getting hit up from 4-star running back commit Cody Brown, Dylan Brooks. The Vols are coming after him hard. And I don't think it would be shocking if he were to pick Tennessee. I would be surprised because I do think he's going to pick Georgia on October 14th. That's my guess, and I've said that for a year and a half now that I think Amarius Mims is going to end up in Athens. But it wouldn't be shocking if he did commit to Tennessee. Again, he's taken visits there 6 or 7 times in the past couple months. That speaks for itself in the interest that he has in Tennessee. It's not like they're a program hanging around. They are a legit threat right now. And I think, again, I would be surprised if he picked Tennessee over Georgia. I wouldn't be shocked, but I just can't see it happening. Kirby Smart, Matt Luke, those are guys that he speaks to all the time. He said he speaks to Matt Luke just about every day. Matt Luke will send him a text during the day, maybe call him after Georgia's practice. So he talks to Amarius every day. He said he speaks with Coach Smart about once a week. It's usually about a 30-minute FaceTime call where they talk about a whole lot of different stuff. But I mean, Brock Vandegrift's his guy. He said they've got a Snapchat streak going on. If you watch this video, you know what the Snapchat is. It's another form of social media. I feel kind of old explaining that. But they talk every day on Snapchat. They've got the big group chat with commitments, targets, everything. He said he doesn't exactly have that with the Tennessee crowd and the commits there. He speaks with them often, usually through text here and there, but he doesn't have the big group chat, Snapchat with the Tennessee guys that he does with the Georgia guys. So at the end of the day, he called Georgia home. He said it's the home feeling. Cochran is a Bulldog town. It's in middle Georgia. And I do think there's probably some pressure for him to stay in state. And when I went to go see Brock Vandegrift, he told me we got to have Mims. We can't let five-star talent leave the state, especially a guy who could probably be his left tackle for the next few years. So Brock is on top of Amarius, calling him every day, talking to him every day. But again, they talk about more than football. But at the end of the day, Amarius knows he's wanted in Athens. He knows he's wanted in Knoxville and just about everywhere else. But I think it's going to come down to Georgia and Tennessee when it's all said and done. And that's going to be next week. He's got his announcement planned for 3:30, Bleckley County in the auditorium on October 14th. And he already knows who he's committing to. He told me he already has the team in his head. He hasn't told anyone except for his dad. So only he and his dad know where he's going right now. He's probably not going to tell the college staffs one way or another whether he's committing to them or not. So I do think Georgia has the lead right now. I've been saying this for a year and a half. I think he'll end up in Athens, and I still feel that way after speaking with him earlier this week. And guys, this is the very latest. I'm the last media guy to talk with Amarius in person. So this is the very latest. This is what you're getting from Dawg Post on these videos, on the website. And again, I just wrote a giant story about Amarius Mims on Dawg Post. If you haven't read that, you'll learn everything you need to know about Amarius as a player, a person, and his recruitment and where things stand. So make sure you head over to Dawg Post for the latest on Amarius Mims. And again, I think he will commit to Georgia next week, but it's not a slam dunk at all. Tennessee could be the pick. It would surprise me. It wouldn't shock me. Did I say that right? No, it would not surprise me. It would shock me. Okay, that's what I meant to say. So I do think Georgia is going to be the pick. And I will leave it at that, guys. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I appreciate it. Make sure to stay tuned to the next video coming up right now, and I will see you over on the website.